Hello and welcome back, friends. Welcome to Lab 1, setting up Ubuntu machines with networking for our OpenStack training, as I explained in the previous session. So the steps are: first step is download and install Oracle VM VirtualBox. It is available at this location. Okay, let me show you. Just check that. Search on Google also. You can search Google direct, or download Oracle VM VirtualBox. So it will take you to this URL. So wiki/downloads. So I'm using Windows, so therefore I will download this and install it. In my case it is already installed. Alright, so you can download it. If you are using Mac, you can use that also. If you are using Linux, you can use this also. So download and install the corresponding version. I have my Oracle VirtualBox already installed, this one. Second is download Ubuntu server. This is available at cdimage.ubuntu.com/release/this. So we can take a look at this also. Go to this URL. So when you go to this cdimage.ubuntu.com/releases/18.04/release, and here you will find the latest release here. So in my case, I downloaded this latest ISO image, Ubuntu 18.04.1 -server -amd64.iso file. So download it, click on it, it will download that. Once you download, I have put this under my images folder. I have an image folder here. I placed it under this images because I'm going to use this images here. So this is my image downloaded. Earlier I downloaded this live server also, that's no more required. So this is what we need to download. There's around 700 MB. So download and put it into this folder anywhere of your choice at your location. Once it is installed, let's create a base machine. To create a base machine, we need to take care of few things, as I explained you in that lab also. So what we need is, we need to put some default settings. We need to include some networking cards, network interfaces. All right, so we need to create the scenario as per the need. So let's start with it. Base machine creation. So name is, first machine is controller. We are going to use controller, and I'm using Linux. We need to select the appropriate version. So we are going to use Ubuntu 64-bit. Next, 4 GB RAM is required for this. As I explained in the session also, we are giving 4 GB RAM. Virtual machine of default virtual machine. So we are going to use default 10 GB, good enough. Alright, so this is our base machine. Now let's make some changes into this. Okay, first is, for example, system. We are not going to use floppy, so therefore let's put it down. We don't need floppy drive. Second is storage. Storage good. Empty. This CD-ROM, we can insert that downloaded DVD from where we selected. So we need, I know that my ISO image is here, so I'm going to select that ISO image. So DVD is inserted, hard disk is created, and then comes the network interfaces. We are going to use 3 network interfaces. First is NAT. We need to enable port forwarding so that we can access it from our Windows host. So give it any name. Host IP 127.0.0.1. Host port is, let's say, 2240. Guest IP is 127.0.0.1. Guest port is 22. That is SSH. So we are just forwarding the port for accessing this machine from putty, using putty. So that will help us in a lot of scenarios. So that you will see once I create it. So port forwarding, and then enable that second port, second network interface card, which will be host only adapter. I'm going to use this adapter number 2. If you don't have all these, you need to create them. This is 2 host only adapters are required. So you can create these 2 host only adapters. We'll be using both of them. And this is third one. We are going to enable this also as host only adapter, and this is my adapter number 3. Alright, so storage is configured. If you want to have a look, you can configure this host only adapters here. Host network manager, go to this, and you see the default one was this host only adapter, and this was the series given default, but I disabled that and I enabled these 2 host only adapters, and these were the IP addresses given for this particular thing. So adapter number 2, DHCP server, this one. Okay, Same way adapter number 3, this is the IP address series. So these are the host adapters which I have already configured. So you can also configure the same way. Now start this installation. So this is how we are creating the base machine. We are on step number 3. Okay. So English language. Now here we are going to use some default boot options. So let's select F6 to enter some boot options. Okay. So here we are going to select this boot options. After this initial RAM disk and these settings VGA 788, right, these are the default settings given. So you can remove this if you want, but even if you want to keep it, you can keep it. But important is that you need to add some boot options. For example, no APIC. All right, this is first. Second one is Debian hyphen installer is equal to en underscore us. Mind it is case sensitive. Be careful about the spellings. I'm going to cross check it. Debian hyphen installer is equal to English US. Then auto is equal to true. Then third one, next one is local is equal to English underscore US, right? There's a typing mistake, so be careful about it. I'm just cross checking my spellings after typing also. Local is equal to English US, and then auto is equal to true, and then FB is equal to false, and then deb conf slash frontend debconf slash frontend is equal to non-interactive. Alright, and then finally keyboard hyphen configuration slash model code is equal to skip. Just let's verify. Keyboard hyphen configuration GURA configuration configuration, right? The spelling I am just double checking, cross checking the spelling, because 90% of the time when spelling mistakes are there, you get into problem. So deb config slash frontend is equal to non-interactive. All right, these are some of the keyboard options which we are using. FB is equal to false, auto is equal to true, and then once it is done, okay, so just press enter key, the installation will start. All right, now after some time you will get this screen. Your system has multiple network interfaces. Choose the one to use as a primary network. So we are going to use the default one, okay, ENP0S3, right? Now this is a host name, so we can give the host name as controller. Okay, we could have given that at the boot time also, but I'm giving it here, no problem. I want to make it minimum interaction. This is full name of the new user, so let me give the name Ram and Sangwan. This is the name of the user, and username I want to keep stack. I'm going to use the same username for all the systems. Stack user, stack password, just to keep it simple. Weak password, yes. Let it continue. Configuring network time server. So these are basic steps. I'm sure you can do it. If so, time zone, default time zone it has taken. as Asia Kolkata in my case. So fine. So it is working. Guided. It is asking for the disk configuration, entire disk to set up as LVM. That's fantastic option. So we keep this one, and this is the disk which is we have enabled. Now write changes to the disk and configure LVM. Yes, you need to select yes. Same way the disk size, again continue entire disk. Write changes to the disk, be careful. Yes, we need to select yes. Don't just keep on pressing enter key. You have to take a look at options displayed on the system. Alright, once the data is written to the disk, it will start the installation of the default installation of the packages. Of course it will ask you what packages you want to install. We want to keep it minimum because it's going to be the base machine. Rest all we will do after the once the machines are installed. The first step is, you remember that our objective is to keep the minimum installation. So we are on step number 4 now. That is create the base machine. So I mean the first once the base machine is created, we'll clone the machines to the new machines. So we are working on the base machine now. So it is asking for proxy now. Okay, we are not using any proxy. Configuring apt. So the default options are good enough. Retrieving the files. 2 minutes 16 seconds remaining. Quite fast. Yes, now it is asking for security update automatically. Let's keep this security automatically update. It's good for us. Now this is what it is asking, that what do you want to install. We don't want anything right now because we want the bare minimum thing. So open SSH is good. Other than that, we are not going to install anything as of now. Alright, so just open SSH server and we'll start the installation. It's almost done. So after packages are installed, it is installing grub 2, that is grub configuration, which is bootloader, grand unified bootloader. So it is installing the grub. And then install grub loader to master boot record. Yes. So we are installing it. Remember, we are installing it at dev SDA, because when we'll be cloning, it will be asking that there are 3 partitions and LVMs and all where you want to install the grub bootloader. So remember, we have to give the disk name /dev/SDA, because this location we need to keep in mind. Why? Because when we will be cloning the machines, it will change the UUID of the machines. Therefore, when you will boot the machine or upgrade the packages, it may not be able to detect the bootloader because the UUID which will be changed when you clone the machines. Installation complete. And it will ask you now reboot. Done. Requesting system reboot, rebooting the system. Yes, that machine is installed. What we will do before cloning, will be upgrading the packages, will be updating the software. So we'll run 2-3 commands before we actually clone the machine, because with that we don't, there's no point doing the same thing again and again on every machine. So let the system come up first. Right, stack, username, stack password. Now once you are logged in, what we can do is we can switch over to sudo as root user, sudo su hyphen. Okay, it is asking for the password. Now to avoid this, that every time it asks for us for the password, what we should do is we should create a sudo of the same user stack without password. So for that, what we need to do is we should give this command echo, okay, and that username stack, okay, stack, then all, it should be allowed to execute all commands, equal to all right, no pass wd, and colon all. That should be the command, stack all, no pass wd, all, and this line should go into /etc /sudoers .d/username. So create any file with that name, maybe sudoer or any name, stack. So we want to create this file for stack user, so I'm creating the file with the same name, stack, etc sudoers .d/stack. Now you can check the content of this file now, /cd/etc/sudoers .d/stack. Now this is the command, remember this is to the content of this file, stack all, stack is the username which we are using, no pass wd, all. So what will happen now onward is, I'll show you the effect will be, if I use sudo su hyphen, now it will not ask you the password. That's the advantage of this command. First is this. Now second is, let's update this, apt get update. Let's update the system. So we are updating it, it will take its own time. Once it is updated, what we will do is dist upgrade, that is distribution upgrade. So we'll upgrade the distribution now based on the latest available softwares and patches which might be available. So we are upgrading it. It will take some time, so there is no point wasting the time for you. So I'm pausing the. Okay, so upgrade is done. It may take time and it may fail sometime also. If it gives the message like failed to fetch, so don't worry, you just rerun the same command in first attempt or second attempt. Sometimes what happens is the repository is not reachable, but there are mirrors available, so don't panic. Just try running the same command again in first attempt or second attempt. For example, in my case I took 2 attempts to complete this upgrade, right? And then we need to install a few more packages, apt get install, like vim if it is not installed, make if it is not installed, perl if it is not installed, then if up down if it is not installed, to manage the networking, right? These are the packages we also require, like gcc we need to install. So let's install it, because we will be needing these on all the machines. vim for vim editor, make for configuring and requiring, if module kernel is to be built again, we need gcc also, and make also. So we need to install these packages on base machine, so that when we clone, when these packages are all available on all the machines, right? So once it is finished, I'll get back to you. So in between I'm pausing the video because I know there's no point wasting the time keeping you glued to the screen. So I just pause the recording. Okay, the packages are installed. Now let's go ahead and configure the networking. So for that we need to edit the file networks slash interfaces. This is a file which we need to change. So, we need to configure all the network interfaces in this file. Auto, allo, this is loopback, iface, allo, inet, loopback. This first, alright. This is same thing. So this is our loopback, that is localhost. So let me copy these files to save the time. 2yy, and then I use p command to put, right? So I configure all the three network card I'll be configuring, so I'm just making 3 copies. The first one is enp0s3, so I'll change the name. enp0s3 is my first. Second is enp0s8, so enp0s8. Third one is enp0s9, so changes enp0s9, right? So these are the 3 interfaces. So first one is DHCP, so let's change to loopback to DHCP. So enp0s3 configured as DHCP. Second was I want to configure at static IP address, right? Static. So here the address is 10.0.0.11, and net mask is 255.255.255.0, 255.255.0. so that is net mask, and that is a static IP address. And the third one is we want to keep it manual, so that is to be internally used by our cloud, so manual. So here to keep it manual we need to set this, okay, iface, that is interface, sorry, up IP link set dev $iface up. Alright, if up, that is up is a command, up IP link set dev interface up. Same way we use down also, that is down IP link set dev interface down. Alright, so interface down, IP link set device interface down, and that's it. So this is networking is already configured, so all set. Now what we need to do is we need to clone the machine. Our interface is configured, host name is configured. We can go and edit the file, that host name vam/etc/hostname, if it is not configured, right? It is already configured, you see the controller. So we are going to make changes into the other machines. Now power off. So our 3 steps are done. Now we are on step number 4, that is clone the machines. So right click on this and create clone. So our clone will be compute. This is going to be our clone compute. Keep the disk names, keep hardware UUIDs. We need to change them, so we cannot keep them, right? MAC address policy, include all net address MAC addresses, or generate new MAC addresses. This makes sense that we should generate new MAC addresses to avoid any conflict. Alright, full clone. So it will take few seconds, in fact not even minutes. First time it may take some time, so no problem. Once it clone is created, we are good to go, and we'll create another 2 more clones. Okay, first clone is done. Let's create another clone. So repeat this process for store 1 and store 2 also. I'm doing it for store 1 and generate new MAC addresses. Alright, store 1, this is going to be our second clone. Second clone is also done. Let's create the third clone, last one. This is our store 2. Fine, same options. Now once the clones are created, as I mentioned in step number 4, we need to add 2 additional disks to each one of these nodes for block storage on this compute and for object store on store 1 and store 2. So let's go to the settings, let's go to the storage, and we add disk here under SATA. So add disk 1, create new disk. We'll keep minimum space, let's say keep it 3 GB, good enough for us, 3 GB, and this is our disk 2 for this purpose, 3 GB. Same way we add one more disk, create new disk, right? We'll be needing it when I'll explain that, don't worry. I explained it in the first session also, the previous session, and this is I'm doing it because I'll be needing block storage for this purpose. So 3 GB for on the compute node, disk 2, sorry, disk 3, I need to change the name, that was disk 2 was already given. So on this machine, disk configured, rest everything is fine. Same way on store 2 also, go to the settings, configure storage, SATA, disk addition, new disk. Okay, we'll create 3 GB here also, same 3 GB or 4 GB, 5 GB, depending on your disk space available. So don't follow me blindly. Disk 2, 3 GB. I have space crunch, so I'm using only 3 GB disk space for testing purpose. Alright, so you can use 2 GB also. So this is my disk 3 and this is 3 GB. Alright, same I'll do with store 2 also. So these requirements I already explained in my previous session. I hope you watched my previous session, and this is what I'm demonstrating right now so that there is no confusion. Disk 2, 3 GB, create another disk, new virtual disk, and then disk 3, 3 GB, and create. So all disk created. Now we can start the machines, and in fact we need to change the RAM also to these machines because by default 4 GB RAM is allocated to them. So let's give 1 GB RAM. For rest of the nodes 1 GB RAM is sufficient for us, right? 1024. Same way store 1 also 1 GB RAM, system RAM 1 GB. Okay, so good enough for store and compute, and this 1 GB RAM is sufficient for us. If you don't have a space problem, you can allocate more also, but 1 GB is good enough to get started with it. Right, now we can start the machines. Controller started. Let's start compute also. Okay, and we'll change the host name and IP address of compute. Let me start now. Same way I'm going to configure the networking for store. I'm starting all the 4 machines now. Okay, all the 4 machines started now. Fine, let the machine come up. So rest of the machines are coming up. In the meanwhile, what I will do is I'll configure the etc host, that is local resolver, which is given on my step number 5, right? Local, because we have already done the step number 4, this part already done, right? Now we are configuring networking and interface configuration and local resolver configuration. All right, let's do that. So local resolver, basically what is required is you need to make entry into /etc/hosts, right? So we'll do that right now, and we'll configure all the 4 machines, all the 4 IP addresses. So sudo su hyphen, it will not ask you password now because of that entry which we made, right? So vim/etc/hosts, and here we are going to make the entry for all the 4 machines, so that it resolve. This IP address is no more required, but then even if it is there, no problem. So 10.0.0.11 is controller. All right, and I'm just doing copy paste YYPPP. That is very simple. YY for young and P for put. So this is my 31, 51, and this is going to be 52. These are the IP addresses which I explained in my previous session. I'm going to keep. So this is my compute node, right? And this is my store 1, and this is going to be my store 2, right? So storage 1, storage 2, compute controller 10.0.11, 10.0.31, 10.0.51, 10.0.0.51, 10.0.0.52. So this is local resolver configuration done on this machine. Now same we'll see on the other machines. Let's look at this. Now store 1, stack, and this is our, remember it is store 1, so we need to change this host name and IP address also. So let's sudo su hyphen, we need to make changes into the file vi/etc. I'm going to use vim/etc/network, okay, /interfaces. First change is we need to make changes here. So mind it, this is store 1, so store 1 IP address was 51. That's the IP address requirement. All right, other than that there is no change required on this machine. Okay, now IP address is changed. We are going to make entry into etc host, that is host name also, right? Let's change that. vim/etc/host name, and this host name is store 1. Okay, this host name is store 1. Remember, we are working on store 1. Saved it, and then we need to make entry into /etc/host, same entry. Okay, we are going to make entry. This host name is now not controller, it is now store 1, right? And here what we need to do is we need to make entry for the same IP address 10.0.0.11 controller, then YYPPP, so to save time, and then make the changes for that 31 IP addresses for this 51 and then 52, right? So 31 is for compute, same settings everywhere, compute, store 1 and store 2, store 1, store 2, right? Controller, compute, store 1, store 2. Remember the IP addresses, and this is also done on this. Now next is, meanwhile let's reboot this, so the machine will come up again. So store 1, store 2, same method, stack, password is same for me to keep it simple, right? Now once it is configured, sudo su hyphen, right, and vi slash etc slash host name, and the host name is, in this case it is, remember, store2, store2, right, and then next changes was vim slash etc slash hosts, same entry, store2 here. So now it is quite obvious, I'm sure you are understanding what am I doing. Stor store2, and then next is 10.0.0.11 controller yyppp, so fast, and there's a 31 IP address, this is 51 IP address, and this is 52 IP address. 31 is for compute, and 51 is for store 1, and 52 is for store 2, right, compute, controller, store 1, store 2, right, all good, and reboot, and then now we need to work on compute also, stack, all right, now sudo su hyphen vim slash etc slash hosts, host name is compute, and then compute, we are on compute node, right, compute, correct, and then here we need to add same entries here, 10.0.0.11 controller, right, yyppp, very fast, and then IP address 31, 51, 52, 31 is for compute, and 51 is for store 1, and 52 is for store 2. So local resolver configured. Now we just make entry into host name, vim slash etc slash host name, and here it is compute, got it. Save and quit, right, compute, correct, and reboot. Once the machines are rebooted, we can start working on that. Now we verifies that we are working on controller. Let's try to ping store 1. I'm sure by now that machine is up, we are able to ping, good. Store 2 not coming up, so maybe yes, that means either the problem in the configuration or something else, so we'll see that. What about compute? Yes, that machine has not come up, so no problem. Now let's look at the store 1, stack, and from store 1 let's try to ping the controller and other machines. Okay, ping store 2. Oh, there's a typing mistake, store 2, store 2, yes, destination host not reachable. What about controller? We are able to ping controller, so controller in store we are able to ping. Now compute, we are not able to ping compute also, because that might not have come so far. Ping compute, right? So no problem, we'll wait for that. And let's go to that store 2 now. Store 2, this is store 2, right? Let's take a look at this. Stack, we'll see what is the problem. Might be the problem is in the interfaces file. vim, let's first sudo to the root, sudo su hyphen, and let's take a look at that file, vim/etc/network/interfaces, right? We need to take a look at this. Look at the IP address, that is the problem. So we are in store 2, IP address should have been 52, that was the problem. Got it? So that was the only reason, there is no other reason. DHCP, everything else is fine. Okay, and now we should be able to ping also. Ping controller, yes, we are able to ping controller from here, right? And if up enp0s8 is already up, okay, let's put it, yeah, it is already configured, so that's fine, it's all working. Now let's look at the compute. Ping compute, we are able to compute, we are not able to ping compute. So let's look at the compute problem. The problem still there. It might be a similar problem on compute also. Let's take a look at. So there's a typing mistake. stack. Okay, patience is the key to success. Sudo su hyphen. Now we go to the same file, etc/network/interfaces. Yes, look at the IP address, it is still the same, so it is not changed. Change it, it should be 31. That was the main problem here also. Let's ping now. Ping controller. Are we able to ping controller here? Yes. What about store 1? Store 1, yes. What about store 2? Oh, we need to bring the store 1 up and down again, so no problem. Let's reboot the store 2. Reboot, we will not waste time. Oh my god, reboot, a typing mistake, no problem. Same way, let's reboot the compute also. So without wasting time, here we are on the controller now. Now let's try to ping compute. The machine is not coming up. What about store 1, store 2? Let the machine come up, and then we'll, of course, in the meanwhile, what we can try here is the Skillpedia. We are able to ping the skillpedia.com, that is, are we able to reach the internet? If yes, our job is done. From yes, we are able to ping the Skillpedia. So from store controller, we are able to ping store 1, we are able to ping the Skillpedia. We are on verifying the step number 6. We are here on step number 6. We are able to verify that yes, we are able to ping internet and as well as local machines. By now, I'm sure compute might have come. Yes, compute has come, and we are able to ping compute also. What about store 1, store 2? Yes, the store 2. So from controller, we are able to ping all the machines, including the nodes and including the internet. Let's try the same thing from compute. Same thing we need to try from compute also, right? So same process. Ping controller. Yes, we are able to ping store 1. Yes, we are able to ping store 2. Yes, we are able to ping, and then last but not the least, skillpedia.com. the Skillpedia, this is my portal, so we are able to ping that also, right? Same thing that is done from computer. Let's look at from the store 1. So ping controller, yes, we are able to ping compute, yes, ping store 2, yes, we are able to ping. So from store 1, and of course not last but not the least, the skillpedia.com. So from store 1 we are able to ping all the machines and everything. Last try is the store 2, stack, and let's try to ping all the machines from here. Okay, ping controller, yes, ping compute, yes, ping store 1, yes, ping store 2, yes, and ping skillpedia.com, yes. Yes. So friends, what we have done in this lab, look at this. We configured, this lab was aimed at set up Ubuntu machines with networking. So we downloaded Oracle VirtualBox from this website. Then step 2, we downloaded Ubuntu server from this location. We did that. Step 3, we created the base machine with these boot options, and we configured network on the main machine. And then after that, step 4 was cloning the machine and then adding 2 additional disks on each of these nodes, that is compute, store 1, store 2. And then finally we configured the interface on all the machines properly. We configured local resolver properly, and then we verified that networking is working on all the machines, and the internet is also accessible on all the machines. Alright, that's all for this session. Thank you so much for this lab. Next lab is going to be very interesting because we will be configuring the additional software which are required for this purpose. Okay, thank you so much. Bye bye, take care.